My energy's back up and I don't have a fever anymore, so I guess that qualifies as better.
Sure.
All right.
I am still on a Gatorade and water diet. I tried eating saltines soaked in broth tonight and got immediate indigestion.
Oof.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, I'm probably going to call tomorrow and be like, so what's up with this?
Yeah, after that many days.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem
definitely,
right.
dude. It's going to be malnutrition season if you wait too much longer, so.
Yeah. Can't do that. I got kids. Especially, I mean, that's like terrifying now. Even, I mean, he didn't have kids, but like reading that stuff about In Control, and then you're like, he's like 6 months older than me.
Yeah, man.
That's
crazy.
rough.
Yeah.
For a guy that tried as long as hard as he did and then made a living, and then he's been out there for so long that it feels like I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
I would have just expected him to always be out there. It's weird.
Sure, I mean, he was our age, you know.
Yeah. I guess it's like Total Biscuit, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, wait, what?
Total Biscuit was definitely like more public about being sick and stuff. In Control, it seemed like was just like, and he's gone. It's like, what?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was like he was sick.
Well, I mean, they announced he died of a sudden illness, is what,
right? Yeah, but like
what the announcement was.
he
I mean,
had
who
been
knows?
streaming 2 days before that, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
sudden illness is like
Oh, right. No.
cancer for 6 months or 8 months.
No. That's
No,
not what
no,
I'm
no.
saying. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just
like
saying that it's like.
Not. I'm using all the
I mean,
wrong.
sudden. It's sudden.
I am ill. I'm very ill, and I'm using all the wrong words right now.
We understand, Andrew.
I'm not like personally affected, but I feel personally affected, and it's weird. I guess I'm more personally affected that I feel personally affected. Because, I mean, I chatted with the guy multiple times on Team Liquid. Like, we were in the same threads talking back and forth. Like I said, he's the same age. He did the thing that you wanted to do where you're like, Mom, Dad, can I play StarCraft? They're like, no, get a job.
Right.
Anyway. All right. We ready to start a podcast?
Yeah, buddy.
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to hand the reins over to one of you two, and you just count to 5, and one of you pick and go.
1, 2,
Count
3.
in your head so I have silence to edit.
Outtakes.
Welcome in, everyone, to episode 165 of We Were Gamers, where we remember the number off the bat.
Hey, it's a good start already.
I'm
You
JJ.
counting, not me counting.
That's Andy.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to step on that. That was JJ.
No, it was good, and that's Michael.
Hey, everyone.
Oh.
And I think we're just going to dispense with everything else and talk about Comic-Con today.
Yes, as I guess you can tell, we're not at Comic-Con.
No. I don't even know how to talk about this.
We were unable to record at Comic-Con because my body rejected being in San Diego.
Violently.
Out of a place it shouldn't have gone.
I have been to this con for over 15 years. An amount that is somewhere in the vicinity of 15 or more. Easily more. I don't think I've ever been sick once. Not even with con crud.
I think all of us have probably posthumously gotten like a sniffle or something, but nothing like this.
No. Anyway, to preface our con discussion, I got to go Thursday, a little bit of Wednesday, and was laid up the rest of the time, and I'm still a little bit laid up. So we're going to hear some con experiences from Michael and JJ.
Well, We wish you a speedy recovery, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm just sorry we couldn't record in the super loud con floor. Although I'm very glad that on
They
Thursday,
always turn in our best audio quality.
Deprive people of
so good.
the windy conditions outside on the terrace.
Or either wind or super loud. We should have just recorded while we were playing Ultimate Alliance on Thursday before I got.
Yeah,
maybe that was
might
it.
have
Maybe
been
those
good.
controllers were infected.
Could be.
Ooh, you just picked up the wrong one.
I got the wrong one. All right.
So yeah, let's start there. That was a lot of fun playing some of the new Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah, man. I had a really fun time with that game.
It looks like Ultimate Alliance 2.
It does, which is exactly what you want from it, right? Or more or
It
less.
was a little crunchy looking to me, no?
I mean, it's a Switch.
Sure.
So I think it looked like what I expected it to look like, and it played like what I expected it to play like, which means great.
Yeah. No
So, like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
No complaint. Just I thought it would be more artistic in its quality, given its home on the Switch is exclusive for now at least, and so I thought, oh, cool, they'll do something like not Okami looking, but at least you know how they knew Okami was going to start out on a Wii, so they made it artistically styled to hide the fact that the graphics weren't great.
Right.
So, given that this was starting there.
I hope that a lot of that is going to show up once they start getting into the systems and unlocking bonus costumes and stuff, that you'll get some cool stuff that way, is my hope for that game. But we will see. We had a fun time mashing some buttons and watching stuff die, I think.
Yeah.
I think probably the coolest experience that I had at con this year, I think, was I actually went with Michael to a taping of the Conan show.
So jealous.
And that was something I've never done before and was super rad.
Yeah, they put on a great show, and it's really cool to see just how well oiled the machinery is of putting the show together, that you don't see when you just watch the polished result on late night.
Considering it's off-site from their studio too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely tell, like, the hype guy that comes out beforehand and gets everyone excited this is his like 8,000th show, and he's like, here's the numbers, we're gonna do this and then this and then this and then this. Okay, ready, let's go. And then here's 1 and 2 and 3, and then the band's gonna come out and they're gonna play a song and you're all gonna go crazy, and then Conan's gonna come out and you're all gonna go double crazy. And it's just like, it's by the numbers, and yet all of it feels really good.
Yep. It was cool too because they have cut back Conan's format from an hour to a half an hour, and as part of that, they had gotten rid of the band, and so this was the first time that the band was back together since last year at Comic-Con.
Are these shows an hour then?
I believe they were. The Comic-Con
Yes.
ones were.
Yeah, these were an hour.
Okay.
We saw the cast of It Chapter 2, which is a movie I didn't see Chapter 1 of, but I enjoyed the interview nonetheless. And I think a great time was had by everyone. I don't know what else to say about it other than if people saw it on TV, it was fun being there.
If you didn't see it on TV, definitely go watch the cold open because that video was hilarious.
Yeah, the cold open was maybe the funniest thing they did that entire night.
We got to describe it a little bit, which was that the cold open was a version of the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, it
Right.
was done
Into
in
the
that same animated style.
Conan-verse.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Conan even made a joke partway through the show. It was like, you guys are clapping way louder at this joke I just told than the $200,000 intro that we spent at the beginning here. And he's like, come on. It was very funny. I don't know if that was on the broadcast or not.
Oh.
But yeah, that was probably the most unique thing I got up to. What about you, Michael?
Well, besides that, let's see. I think one of the highlights for me was the Design Your Own comic at the Lego booth.
100% agree with this.
Which I think was one of the best interactive experience that I have seen from a large booth anyway.
Hands down the best experience at a Lego booth in a decade.
Oh yeah,
Totally
best
correct.
one I've ever had in the 5 years that I've gone now.
There have been some great interactive experiences every couple years at certain booths. There used to be, very, very in-depth ones, like Walking Dead used to have a whole village inside there, like very elaborate booths. But this wasn't elaborate at all, and it moved fast. But like Lego has always been kind of, we're here, we're showing cool stuff, but look, don't touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was easily the thing you could get your hands on the easiest because that line moved fast. I don't know how they made those printers print that fast. I guess, Michael, why don't you describe what this is actually, since you're talking around it?
So they had about a dozen small tablets set up around a big printer, basically, and you would digitally design a minifig of whatever you wanted it to be. It could be yourself, it could be someone else. And then you would answer a few survey questions, and you would pick a theme, either Star Wars or Batman or Spider-Man, and then it would take all of your answers and your character and dump it into a printed comic book based on the theme you chose.
And like, you see the character you just created, named what you named it in the comic, in the pages, and the story, like, it's kind of clear the story is what it is, and they're just kind of throwing your character in between interstitially.
It's a little Mad Libs.
Yeah, but it's still really cool. Like, your character is on the cover of the comic book next to Lego Batman or whatever. Like, that's awesome.
It's a somewhat newly common-ish trope in kids' books. A lot of gift books that you can do, order online and put the kid's name and like pick what they look like, and as someone with kids, this was a godsend. Like, well, we know what we're gonna do for a little while. Like, gotta get one of these for the kiddos.
And then they had build a minifigure bins that had not all but most of the same parts that you were able to pick from on the iPad, so you could physically build.
Also a chance I picked up the plague here.
Yep, yeah. From people pawing through bins of Lego parts.
And bins of Lego parts with 1,000 people an hour going through them.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing about those bins that we didn't learn until the late on Saturday, they had 3 torsos, Lego minifig torsos, that were unique to the con. You can't get them anywhere else.
What?
But they say they have like the comic book. Yeah, Batman.
Oh,
yeah, there were 3 of them, a red, a blue, and a green.
Yeah, I saw all 3.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely saw those.
Whoops.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, but that's a nice touch. I appreciate things like that.
Yeah, it would have been nice to know in advance, so I could have, kept one on my character and been like, cool, I got the Comic-Con one, right?
I think my character had the red one, the jacket, right? Or wait, are we talking about a different one?
There are a couple of different red ones. The ones in the unique ones to the con, I think, were mostly white.
Picture Sheldon. I know none of us watched this show, but like everyone knows what that dude looks like with his Bam and Pow shirts or whatever.
Oh, okay.
That type of thing with a like a dress shirt slung over it, open buttoned, so you could still see the t-shirt. That's what they looked like.
Yep, got it. Then I don't think I did get one of those. Just kidding. Well, I don't mean to end that on a down note because that was legitimately the coolest thing, I think. The coolest, like, free experience at the con, for sure.
It's not a down note. It's just one of those, like, oh, if I'd known those were the Comic-Con ones, like, I wouldn't have grabbed the non-Comic-Con one,
Yeah, totally.
Oh, well.
Yep.
C'est la vie. I still got one with a wolf on it.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot of cool choices in there, for sure.
Yeah.
I tried to make my dude look like Indiana Jones. I didn't really succeed. But
it was a great experience, whether you got the Comic-Con shirts or not. But, the shoving and the pushing. I told a funny story about I started on one end of the bins and moved to the other without moving.
Yep.
Just funneled along by the
Just
crowd.
got shoved along by the crowd. Yeah, but
In
being able
general,
to
that was
make
the
something
story
like
of the.
that. Yeah, like it was a new thing for them to have tried, and I think easily a success, and they should do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Other than that, I really only had like one other cool thing that I did a lot of fun things, but only one other that I really wanted to like bring up on this pod. I saw the panel with George Takei about his new memoir / graphic novel called "They Called Us Enemy," which was on sale at the con, and thus far I've only read like the first couple pages, but it's really great.
Is that
and that panel was fun.
Camp book?
Yeah, it's about his experiences as a child at the Japanese American internment camps. So it seems like it's really good and it's getting great reviews and stuff out there. So if people want to find out about that and listen to some of what George Takei has to say, you can follow him on Twitter. He's happy to tell you about his what he thinks about everything, which I think this book follows those leanings pretty strongly. And it's a pretty great book from all experiences. So
That's really cool.
any standout panels or anything else that you went to, Michael?
What did we see that was good? Just sort of satisfying to my inner child. We went to the 50th anniversary birthday bash panel for Scooby-Doo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they had several of the producers and animators, plus the two women who currently do the voices of Daphne and Velma on the panel.
Nice.
So it was really cool. It was just a lot of fun. And then for the engineer in me, I got to go to the 50th anniversary Apollo panel. Apollo 11.
I'm so mad
I heard
at you.
that one was super hard to get
I
into.
wanted
Yeah.
to go to that
I
so
had to
bad.
sit. I sat through a panel and a half before it, just so I could be assured of being in the
I
room.
wanted to go to that so bad.
Yeah,
It was like my
man.
number 2 panel of the whole weekend that I wanted to go to.
But yeah, it was
I
really
also
cool
enjoyed
to see they had one of the original engineers who had worked on the heat shield, the ablative heat shield for the re-entry capsule, and he spent a lot of the panel time just talking about his experiences.
Cool.
And he also had, I guess he had been there through the entire tenure of the space shuttle program. So he had on display up at the front of the room all 135 mission patches.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
man.
incredible.
We need to get cooler jobs.
I see those patches and then I think like, man, how much overtime did he do?
It's not overtime at that point, JJ.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's just time.
What if you pay people? I don't know. All right. There was
I have to
despite what
hold on. I got
Go
to
ahead.
shout out 2 things real quick. First shout out is to a man that people won't think needs it, but he does need it. Robert Kirkman. I know you listen to our show.
definitely.
Thanks for tuning in.
I feel bad for that man. We went to his panel on Thursday, and he feels epically bad, I think, about having ended the Walking Dead comic book. Spoilers for anybody that didn't know. The Walking Dead comic book is over.
I feel like he's been advertising that was coming soon for a long time.
It, in fact, it was a secret, JJ.
Okay. I'm
people-
misinformed.
People only found out it was ending when the distributors were not able to order more, which was about 2 weeks before the last issue shipped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they kept that a secret, and I guess he had the ending for about 100 issues, but they had been working towards it. And during his panel, he just was, I think, not physically afraid, but just mentally afraid of people not enjoying what he had created at the end because he had ended it, right? Like, but from everything I've heard, it was the story and that needed to end that way, and I don't think creators should be afraid to tell their stories, and when even they're The Walking Dead, and you have an empire built on its back, can't be afraid. Otherwise, you end up with Lost. You know.
I think that's a good analogy there.
Yep.
And the second shout out is to you two and everybody else this weekend that helped me arrange to get a few things exclusivity wise while I was laid up at the con. I was desperate for one of those Lego barbs and could not move at that point in time. So I just want to throw a shout out to a large crew of people and say thank you for that. Moving on.
Well, luckily, despite our experiences, which, I mean, I don't think I had a bad con overall. I think I had a pretty neutral to good con in general.
I would say I can't judge the con this year. So I had a bad weekend, but for the 2 days I was there, it was nice. The con, I mean.
Yeah. There sure seems to have been a decent amount of news that came out of it, at least in the news of the lane that this podcast is interested in. Y'all, they showed a trailer for Picard.
Did you watch it?
Andrew, did I watch it? Come on now.
I mean, you're the one that's afraid of the show.
I had trepidations and I had fears, and
just like our erstwhile captain.
Indeed. And the trailer was good. Now I have different fears. I just want the show to be good, you guys. And the trailer was very good. And it looks like I don't have to worry about the dog at least being annoying. So now I have to place my fears on something else. But I'm excited to see all the stuff that's in there. Did you guys also watch the trailer?
Yeah, a couple times in fever breaks.
I have not gotten to watch yet. I'm going to do it as soon as we're done recording.
Oh my gosh!
Should we
okay,
just pause so he can watch it? That was a serious question.
I don't know.
We can do that if we want to take 2 minutes.
I want to open the window to my room again.
I have a low setting on my fan, and it works perfectly well for the podcast. You can't even hear it.
We've been getting flyovers a lot the last week, so if I do that, I know it's just going to be a jet right in the middle as soon as I open it.
Yeah. Every picture Katie took of sunset while we were down there, because we could see sunset from our Airbnb, had helicopters in it.
Okay, that was awesome.
Yes,
see?
That trailer was awesome.
Now.
So, 7 of 9 is back. That's a very cool pull.
Yeah.
Completely kept under wraps, by the way. Like from that's the most insider of insiders.
Yeah. I was super surprised by that. Also, apparently Frakes is back and direct. And Counselor Mariana Sirtis is also back.
So Troy Spiner as Data, obviously, because you see him in the trailer.
And
the man, Alcoa, I think his name is, that plays Hugh, one of the original freed Borg that Picard lets go.
Right, from one of the Next Generation episodes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And man, so it is a who's who of fun people to have. Now, it's not clear, are all of these people going to be recurring roles or whatever? I think they kind of made it clear that Riker and Troy maybe were not going to be constantly on the show. But it is cool that they're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw, who was it, Allison Pill in there?
Allison Pill. Oh, yeah. She's
the tiny little blonde.
She's the tiny blonde. That's true. I'd hate to describe her that way, but it's the easiest way to pick her out.
She's petite and blonde, and the only one who fits that description in the trailer.
Yeah.
Jerry Ryan, not petite, but is blonde.
What's her name from SVU is in it too?
Oh yeah, with the curly light brown hair.
Yeah, she's big from that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know many of the other people that are recurring that I saw, like the that seemed to be like part of his crew per se.
The Vulcan guy I
Yeah.
didn't recognize.
Yeah.
So, I am happy with that trailer. I hope that the show lives up to the promise now of this trailer.
Yes.
Um,
I hope that this is a designed limited series based on that trailer.
yes. I
So,
hope
like,
that
just-
this is not an open-ended, we want to do 50 seasons situation.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay if it's 2 seasons, 3 seasons, or whatever. I know that it's a seasoned show based on its purchase. However, I just think that based on this storyline, dragging this out. Okay, I guess we got to go through the trailer. It appears that Picard does not like making wine. At
Right,
Chateau Picard.
which is too bad. Well, actually, we know why he doesn't like it, because his wine is in La Bar. How could he get a Grand Cru class vintage? And this whole thing, we do it on this rant before.
Set phasers to Burgundy, JJ.
Oh my God, please. Can you buy that wine? I want to.
I
kind
would
of.
love to buy. I don't care what's in it. It could be empty. Just give me the label.
Honestly. Yeah, it's very cool.
It's a great label, although it's a great label because it says Grand Cru from La Bar on it.
Yes. Anyway, so it opens in the vineyard, right? There's flyover, and he's kind of like, I tried to come back, and then it's clear that he couldn't, and this woman comes to him for help. Which one is she? The curly-haired, dark-haired.
The dark-haired, curly-haired one.
Right. Not the blonde one.
Portrayed by somebody.
No research. And then Picard cuts away. He's obviously talking. He's back in Starfleet and talking with an admiral about ominous things. Smash cut to him back out. There, people being like, "What are you after, Jean-Luc?"
Mhm. Yeah, what are you doing in space again, buddy? And he's building a young crew around him. I didn't think that Patrick Stewart looked much older than he did when he was Picard, but he definitely looks older than he was Picard. I noticed when he was sitting in one of the chairs on that little shuttle or bridge or whatever, I was like, oh man, okay. Like, I believe it, I believe it's old man time.
Yeah, he's been out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked like a dad in Next Generation. He looks like a grandpa now. Right?
Yeah, I guess he looked like an older dad, maybe. And now he definitely is like grandpa status.
Like adult. And anyway, now he is definitely like well past adult into like, I'm old now.
Well, when he points to say engage, it just doesn't have the fiery fist it had before. It's kind of like a, it's a little shell of itself. Not in a bad way, just saying like, wow.
There's just like a bit of a weariness to it.
Yeah, and I hope it's casting in terms of like his time, like he's understood what Picard has become, and that's what he's chosen as Picard's affectations of the future. I don't know. We'll see. I have a thing to throw out there. Here, there, everywhere. Is this going to be a Borg show? Is that little girl going to be a baby Borg?
They seem to be pointing it that way, right? They kind of like reference. They say she's the destroyer,
she's
whatever that.
Special. She's in danger. She could destroy everything.
Yeah,
she's a little baby Borg
or something.
Okay.
So who knows? I just want the show to be good. So please let it be that.
The panel clips that I saw, this was the number one panel I wanted to go to that people were very willing to help me try to get into, but I couldn't make it out. Anyway, this was the number one I wanted to see, and the panel clips of Discovery was in this panel too, and they had a good time. Lower Decks, by the way, comedy show with Jerry O'Connell.
Animated comedy show,
yeah. Post Nemesis, some officers on the lower decks of a nameless Starfleet vessel
I believe they did put a name to it, but it was like something extremely nondescript, just like whatever. It's some vessel. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Basically, and I guess all the like major bridge characters are the side characters, but they feel like the show is about them, and all the like ensigns and people that never get any screen time are the actual main characters.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it looks actually pretty good. I
Yeah,
was a little worried when they were like animated. Like, oh no.
yeah. You conjured images of the Star Trek animated show.
I love Star Trek, but that animated show is hot garbage.
Yeah, it's not good. So I think there was a lot of great Star Trek news coming out of this.
And watching him talk about him being Patrick Stewart again, why he came back after rebutting so many people trying to reboot him into a series, gives me a lot of hope. It sounds like he's been part of the writing process from the beginning.
Yeah, I believe the whole panel is up on YouTube now, I think.
Cool.
So if people want to check it out, that's available.
I know what we're going to talk about next. And I'm I want to say before we start that I love that on this podcast with you two together in one space, we chose to talk about Star Trek before this other thing.
We got to stay on brand here, okay? We have a Star Trek brand to protect.
We don't have another side platform for what I'm gonna guess is Marvel.
I feel like we just get so much wrong on Marvel and then get yelled at that.
You know what? Just like Robert Kirkman, we can't be mad at the people on the internet. We just got to let them be them and us be us. We have to do our art. And our art is going to be us talking about a lot of stuff that happened at the Marvel panel with no research. So they announced a bunch of stuff. Their Phase 4, I guess they're calling it.
Yes.
A surprising amount of announcements were related to TV shows that I already knew about, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah.
I guess I sort of thought it was going to be all movies, which silly me, I guess, for expecting that when they have giant, big TV shows coming out.
Well, Disney Plus service launching that they need to remind people about.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, we're going to be here in a big way. So,
it sounds like, gosh, I don't even know where to start with this thing. The Black Widow movie is still going to be a prequel, and Scarlett Johansson is in it, and that's that.
David Harbour's in it.
Yes, that was the other thing. I didn't catch that. But let's see. Who else remembers some of this stuff? There were so many announcements here.
Let's see. There was...
I have a weird...
Oh.
Okay.
No, go.
I just noticed something weird, and I didn't watch the panel, so maybe you guys can clarify it.
I also didn't.
Guardians was not listed, even though they're already working on it?
It was not. So I read about that this morning because I was interested in why it wasn't there, and it turns out that they didn't put it in the lineup because James Gunn, who is now been brought back for it, is finishing up Suicide Squad first before he turns his attention back to Guardians.
Oh, so we may not see Thor and the Guardians until 2022 or 23.
Yeah,
well,
2022 was the speculation that I saw.
You'll probably see Thor because they talked about it. Thor 4 is on this list.
Yes.
Kinda. I don't like the hate about this.
Is there hate? I don't know. It seemed like a good idea.
Seems like a great idea. I think there's a lot of
They are doing the thing that happened in the comic books like 4 years ago or 5 or something, and is not. I don't think was even that controversial at the time.
Well, probably was, but
yeah, I think there was some backlash against it.
Here was the full extent of the drama. But Thor's a man's name. No, Thor is the name of the person that wields the hammer. Nuh-uh, Thor's always been a man. Well, this is the way it is.
Bro, the hammer says, "He whosoever calls the power of Mjolnir shall be Thor," or whatever, something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, Jane Foster picked up the hammer in the comic books and will be apparently doing so in the MCU at some point. Natalie Portman even being the one to play it, which I think was pretty shocking based on what I had heard about her involvement in the past.
What do you mean her?
Yeah.
Oh, it seemed like she refused actively to be in Thor 2, and even reshoot scenes in Endgame, they had to like work around her not wanting to be in it. Or at least that was the stories I heard. Who knows?
Weird.
But she was at that panel apparently and held a Mjolnir, so that seems to be
Yay.
happening.
All right.
I think it's good. I don't know.
Sure.
Black Panther 2 is still coming out, which I think is probably really good because I liked Black Panther 1 a whole lot.
Yeah, also not on the Phase 4 list.
Yeah. Kind of
Weird.
shocked. They are doing Shang-Chi, which someone else is going to have to talk about because I don't know who that is.
Okay, next.
Is Ken busy right now?
Yeah. All
I'll
right.
text him.
That's going to be our opinion on Shang-Chi there.
Yep. The next Doctor Strange is coming
Ken,
up.
Who?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm. Who is Shang-Chi?
You're
Okay.
live right now.
Send me an audio message so I can play it on the podcast.
They announced that WandaVision, that TV show, is going to be a prequel to Strange 2, and that kind of it will sort of be a backstory-ish kind of thing, and then lead into Strange 2. Maybe not in a way that you need to see the show in order to see the movie, but
Really
that might
hope
inform
not.
your opinions.
Okay.
Although they didn't explicitly say that, but I know we've discussed on this podcast before the idea of the shows carrying over into the movies, and seems like they're still kind of waffling there.
Yeah, that's a little bit waffly for sure. I think people are going to be very excited if they know the Eternals, but probably if they love the Eternals, disappointed, and if they don't love the Eternals, disappointed. I'm guessing the Eternals has a high potential to be a major flop.
Yeah, so that's even a property I am like very sketchy on. I don't know that I've seen a comic book with that name. I think that's it.
Yeah,
They are a cosmic team, kinda, I think.
kinda. Not really. I mean, they're on Earth.
Okay. So then I have no clue what they're even.
They're a species, kind of like a subspecies, not mutant or whatever.
Okay.
There's subspecies of human that not. I guess we are the subspecies, right? They're like. I don't want to get it all the way wrong, but it's basically like if, like the Greek gods were humans, right? And they created people in their image, kind of, but they didn't.
Andrew, you missed the obvious thing here. It's Highlander. You just said it was Highlander.
Okay, it's Highlander, but like less blasphemous because they had to put it in Marvel Comics during the Comics Code.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I
mean,
okay.
They were called the New Gods, I think, at one point.
Okay, I've heard that New God's name before also.
Or no, wait, New Gods is DC. Wait. I'm getting confused. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they're basically Greek gods, and they're saying that Greek gods are humans and they're eternal because they're immortal. Anyway.
Okay.
Again,
they
suffer from
not
the
a lot of
Superman
info
complex,
about
right? Of what can hurt them.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like comics like that.
Uh-huh. Now imagine a whole
literally
race
the
of
problem. Literally the problem with Superman. And they did say that mutants will be coming to the MCU
and Fantastic Four.
and saving the maybe fifth time's the charm. Because there have been a lot of kind of bad Fantastic Four movies over the years.
So Phase 4 has to lead to something, and them confirming Fantastic Four, do you think it's...
That's how it wraps up?
They wrap it up with Fantastic Four, and that's why it'll be good, because it'll be leading into one of the big bad movies with like...
Do we get Doctor Doom?
No.
It's going to be like Doctor
yes,
Doom
get Dr.
versus
Doom.
MCU or whatever at the end.
It'll be like Doctor Doom, and then Doctor Doom calls on Annihilus or
Galactus.
Galactus or somebody like that. Yeah, Galactus and the Silver Surfer could also be connected because of Fantastic Four. That would make sense.
Yeah, because 4 is pretty deep with the Silver Surfer, right? Like
Annihilus would be hard without introducing other characters from space, and if they don't know when Guardians is coming, probably can't do Annihilus yet. So Galactus,
maybe we just
is.
planned Phase 5 for them, right?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm tentatively excited about this stuff. It's just I don't have like these slate here. Other than Black Widow and Doctor Strange 2, I kind of don't know really much about any of this stuff.
I like seeing that Disney Plus is going to get a bunch of stuff, and hopefully it is not. I don't think the stuff that's on ABC or Fox or whatever, like all that stuff that's out there now, that's TV, is of bad quality. It's certainly of high quality, but it's a lot of it's empty. We've talked about a lot of what we think of the TV shows, etc., but a lot of it feels hollow, like it's filler. Like when you read Spider-Man, you get a 12-issue arc that's really popping, and then you get like 3 issues of like, then that artist and writer took a break for 3 issues because it was a lot of hard work, and these 3 guests came in and did issues, and Peter Parker got a sandwich and a hang upside down to eat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's what the TV has started to feel like, is like, okay, well, like clearly none of this matters and doesn't connect, as Ken found out to his deep chagrin about Coulson not coming back to the movie for Iron Man's funeral. And I wonder if the Disney Plus stuff will feel more meaty.
And maybe if they do it as limited series, it will have the ability to feel that way, right?
I love actors having jobs, but limited series seem to be the way to make things like this good.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned, sorry, we didn't talk about Loki. Loki is going to be in there, and it's basically picking up from when he disappeared with the Tesseract. So, there's at least some amount of movie that is going to follow into that, right?
Yeah. I think the most unexpected announcement to me was that they're redoing Blade with Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was saving that to the end because they also said that is a Phase 5 movie.
Oh.
Which sucks because that got me very excited. I think Blade 1 with Wesley Snipes is a really good movie despite being terrible.
I don't think it's terrible.
The special effects do not hold up, let me say.
Well, I haven't watched it for that reason.
Don't sully your memory unless you just want to watch some bad movies, which I am sometimes want to do.
It's going to be a different Blade.
Yes, it will be a different one, which is good because I think that story can be good and awesome. So I hope whenever that comes out. And Mahershala Ali is like a really cool actor, and it was a pretty inspired choice, I thought.
I think that if you had to name your number one person to like change Blade away from Wesley Snipes' Blade, I don't know what else would be at the top of your list. Like,
yeah, it's like him or the guy they had already cast as Killmonger. So, too late.
Oh, you're talking about
Eric B.
Jordan. Yeah.
Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Thank you. Yes.
I don't think Michael B. Jordan would be Blade.
I don't think he's got. I mean, he might have the chops to play it, but he just doesn't. He doesn't have the same stoicism that I think Mahershala Ali could pull off.
Yeah,
and like if you wanted to do like Idris Elba, you could, but I think Idris Elba maybe is too popular now.
Also, Idris Elba is yoked, dude.
Older,
and older's fine, but like he's too big to be Blade.
That's because he had to bulk up for Fast and Furious, so
he's too big to be Blade.
Agreed.
Blade's
he's agile.
He's an agile vampire fighter. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a cool, like almost one more thing type thing that they threw in there. So,
yeah,
that I think rounds out the biggest news. Does anyone else has anything else that came out that you want to talk about?
We landed on the moon 50 years ago.
Yeah, I'm super jelly of people that got to see those panels, man.
That was, I guess that's
that
not
was,
news. Well, I mean, it's news to some people.
It shouldn't
It
be,
was-
though.
Yeah, that was a great panel.
Overall, Michael, did you enjoy your con experience? Pretty good?
I did. It swung back a little bit more this year to what my con experiences had been in some of the earlier years that I had gone, only because the Lego exclusives are always really high on my list, and Lego pulled the minifigs out of the exclusive lottery this year and went back to doing them as a raffle, essentially.
Which is what?
Yeah.
So there were a lot
strictly
more.
worse or better now that you've experienced both recently.
I still like it better.
Wow.
You know, even for all of the early mornings and the crazy lines, I still like it better just because your odds are better.
Michael is the one who is dedicated enough to get up at 5 a.m. to go get in that line.
But
Whereas
that's not
Andy,
even
you and
the-
I are not.
But that's not even the whole truth of it. How long are people waiting there before you get there at 5:30?
Yeah, but if you get there at 5:30, you're going to get a chance to hit the button. Whereas the exclusive lottery, you may just never get the chance.
That's true.
So I agree with Michael about the Lego exclusives. They were kind of crazy this year. I guess they are every year. I was kind of bummed that they changed the starting time on them because that meant I was never going to be able to get there early enough to get in that line at early enough time. But I mean, that's my own fault for wanting to sleep instead of valuing a Lego minifigure.
It's a responsible choice.
Hey, you know, got to do what you got to do. This is We Were Gamers, not We Are Dedicated Gamers.
We are
Just,
we
I
are
don't know.
dedicated.
I don't know where I was going with
I
that.
don't. Yeah, it's part of the category. I think it counts. It's We
Yeah.
Were Gamers, and Michael pulled out all the stops this weekend to put his old age behind him,
And do what needed to be done. Bravo.
Power on through.
Bravo to you and your cadre of people who helped everyone out this weekend. So,
meanwhile, I did my best to be the people from Willy Wonka and laid in bed all weekend. I like an old person.
Grandpa Joe.
all right. Well, I think if people want to get at us, Michael, where could they do that?
People can email us. We have an email address, one of those newfangled things, which is podcast@weweregamers.com. They can .com. Thank you. They can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
.com.
We are on all of those platforms. All at We Were Gamers. And they should go out and listen to us on YouTube.
Is the .com over?
I mean, people
Because of
don't go to
apps?
websites. Yeah, people don't go to websites because of apps. That's, yeah.
So we don't have to say, well,
I mean, we do have, you could go to weweregamers.com and listen to this podcast. And you
Yeah.
should,
yeah, you should.
but you could also listen to it through apps on your phone.
So we
You
need
should
an
do that too.
app so that they can. Are people going to forget how to email?
No,
Okay.
because there's an app for it.
Okay.